This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
(1:15 p.m.) This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Catherine Pereira and read by Geethanjali Ramanayaka. The headlines. The President called for consensus among the members of the Parliament to implement the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. The provincial council system should be amended while decentralising the power in a proper way. Debate on the second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill. It has been stated that malpractices and corruption occur not only in Sri Lanka Transport Board, but in all state corporations and statutory board institutions. Sri Lanka's first French fries processing factory to open on Friday. Foreign news, Imran Khan barred from politics for 5 years. News in detail. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said in Parliament today that the implementation of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution should be done in a way that suits the nation's growth and the future. Addressing the Parliament, he said, achieving this requires a consensus among the Parliament members through comprehensive and open-minded deliberations. President Wickremesinghe highlighted that the 13th Amendment, which oversees the decentralisation of power to provincial councils, holds the utmost legal significance in the country. He emphasized that necessity of respecting all and adhering to it, stressing that both the executive and the legislature have a responsibility to uphold and implement its provisions. He emphasized, in order to achieve this, a consensus among all members of Parliament is needed through broad and open-minded discussions. The President, pointing out that the opposition should deviate from the traditional opinion that the role of the opposition is to oppose every decision taken by the government, he emphasized that the opposition views should be considered while making decisions and efforts should be made to promote a more balanced and cooperative political environment. President Wickremesinghe urged all the MPs to avoid engaging in personal debates and instead focus on the future of the country. He called for sincere unity among parliamentarians to collaboratively make decisions and prioritize the country's long-term interests. The government is allocating 550 billion rupees annually for the provincial councils. Accordingly, 22,000 rupees will be allocated per each person. It is hoped to save 50 billion rupees from the sum that has been allocated for the provincial councils. Provincial council system should be amended while decentralising the power in a proper way. The provincial council system cannot be abolished due to the 13th Amendment of the country. It's a supremacy law. The second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill will be taken up for debate in the Parliament today. This was decided at the meeting of the Committee on Parliamentary Business chaired by Speaker Mahinda Abeyewardene yesterday, according to the General Secretary of Parliament Kushani Rohanadira. The bill proposes to increase the borrowing limit from 4,979 billion rupees to 13,979 billion rupees. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.
A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena says that malpractices and corruption is occurring not only in Sri Lanka Transport Board but in all state corporations and statutory board institutions. This situation has been aggravated in all institutions. The persons who are involved in these activities should be showcased to the country with evidence. He also stated that he is not hesitant to reveal such incidents that are happening in institutions under his ministry. He made these remarks while participating at the Das Desin Hatha program of the SLBC today. Sri Lanka's first potato strip French fries processing factory, built in Kahattewala, Bandarawala, will be opened on Friday. This factory has been built on the Kahattewala Sri Sangaraja temple premises. The factory, built under the financial assistance of the Small-Scale Agricultural Entrepreneurship Program of the Agriculture Ministry, is to be opened by Minister Mahinda Amaravira. More than 100 million rupees had been spent on the construction of this potato strip processing factory. Potato strips are currently being imported to Sri Lanka, spending 3,500 million rupees annually, which goes to foreign countries. Since there is a high demand for French fries in the country, potato strips are prepared using locally grown potatoes. The factory buys potatoes from 250 farmers, and the daily production of potato strips is approximately 1,000 kilograms. And that ends local news for now.
Elevate your life with People's Bank Excelsior. A comprehensive banking services package with a branded checkbook as well as debit and credit card exclusively for you.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Sri Lanka Electricity Board says that the daily electricity demand has been increased up to 50 gigawatts per hour due to the prevailing dry climatic situation. The board also said that an alternative power system will be followed for the continuous electricity supply. The board urged the people to use electricity sparingly. Meanwhile, the Electricity Board said that 8 days will take to normalize, and second electricity generation machine of the Norachole Lakvijay power plant, which was inactive. About 200 megawatts of power capacity has been lost to the national electricity grid due to the non-operating of the power plant. And that was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
Watch Life is brought to you by
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
In Watchlight this afternoon, it has been reported that most of the Sri Lankan migrant workers are staying in foreign countries without jobs. Information has been received, especially majority of the Sri Lankans who are in Dubai and the Middle Eastern countries have no jobs. The Foreign Employment Bureau stated that these have not registered with the Bureau. The groups who migrated on tourist visa, marriage basis and on educational activities have faced this situation. Therefore, the Bureau has pointed out that there should be a proper system on migrating. And that came to you in Watchlight.
CIB Janajaya Vasana. Unbelievable discounts and offers throughout August from CIB Janajaya Vasana. Come today itself.
On to world news. The headlines. Imran Khan barred from politics for 5 years. Amazon nations fall short of agreed goal to end deforestation. And Russia shoots down 2 armed drones headed for Moscow. The former Prime Minister of Pakistan, Imran Khan, has been barred from holding public office for 5 years by the country's electoral authorities. The decision was announced by the Election Commission of Pakistan 3 days after Mr. Khan was sentenced to 3 years in prison for corruption. Tuesday's announcement also means Mr. Khan will be dismissed as an MP. He maintains the charges are politically motivated, but the Pakistani government denies this. 8 countries that share the Amazon basin have fallen short of an agreed goal to end deforestation. Delegates from the countries are meeting in Brazilian city for a 2-day summit on the issue, the first such gathering in 14 days. A joint declaration yesterday created an alliance to combat deforestation, but left each country to pursue its own conservation goals. Preserving the Amazon is a central part of efforts to tackle climate change. Ahead of the summit, Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva had called for a common goal of ending deforestation by 2030, a policy his own government has already adopted. Russian air defense have shot down 2 armed drones headed for Moscow, the city's mayor said. the latest in a surge of drone attacks on Russia's capital city. Moscow Mayor Sergei Sobyanin told early today that one drone was downed in Domodedovo on the southern outskirts of the city, while the second was shot down in Minsk highway area west of the capital. 2 combat drones attempted to fly into the city was recorded. Both were shot down by air defense, Sobyanin said Telegram messaging channel without naming an attacker. Back to the headlines of the world news. Imran Khan barred from politics for 5 years. Amazon nations fall short of agreed goal to end deforestation. And Russia shoots down 2 armed drones headed for Moscow. That ends world news.
Development News is brought to you by
Job opportunities from Desha Sri Lanka in Kuwait, Saudi Arabia, Oman, including company housemaid, salary 156,000 rupees, 23 to 57 years. Contact 037 7500 500.
On to development news. 3 rural roads in the Siamala and Dua Divisional Secretariat divisions will be developed and carpeted. This project is being initiated by the Road Development Authority. 500 million rupees have been allocated in this regard. And that was development news.
Job opportunities for women from Desha Sri Lanka in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait and Oman. Company housemaids, caretakers and home cooks in Saudi Arabia for ages 23 to 57 years. Salaries starting from 156,000 rupees. Interviews are now on with foreign agents. You can now travel overseas free of charge. Branches: Colombo, Kurunagala, Anuradhapura and Matara. Contact number 037 7500 500. Desha Sri Lanka Foreign Development Agency.
Sports news. An incentive will be given for the coaches of sportsmen and women of athletics targeting the forthcoming Asian Sports Festival. Sri Lanka Athletic Association launched this program yesterday. The main sponsor of the Sri Lanka Athletic Association, Damro Holdings, will provide 40,000 rupees monthly for each coach. And that was sports news.
Go ekak thiyana youth eකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
The Educational Institute of 123 STEM campus will be opened in Kollupitia. Children aged 7 to 15 can obtain their practical knowledge on 12 subjects including science, engineering and maths. Chairman of the institute, Professor Chaminda De Silva, said that the courses will be conducted from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. on weekends for a period of 6 months. 150 scholarships will be provided to the children of low-income families. And that was Business News.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Go ekak thiyana youth එකට life එකේ change එකට නියමෙට set වෙන්න ඇස් වහගෙන දැකපු වීන හැබැ කරන්න youth එකට නියමෙට set වෙන friendship එක මෙන්න.
The all new NSB Ithru Mithru account, NSB IM, a plan for your dream.
On to economic news. The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has been ranked the most respected bank in Sri Lanka and the 4th most respected corporate entity in the country overall in 2023. Most respected entities in Sri Lanka rankings published by the LMD magazine. The largest private sector bank in the country, Commercial Bank, was also ranked 2nd overall across all sectors of business for financial performance and honesty and was ranked among top 5 Sri Lankan corporates for vision, management, profile, national perspective and corporate culture. And that was economic news. On to the weather report. Showers or thunder showers may occur at a few places in the eastern and Nuwa provinces and in the Mullaitivu district during the evening or night. A few showers will occur in the western and Sabaragamu provinces and in the Gaul, Matra, Kandy, Nuwara Eliya districts. Mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. And that was the weather report. Prior to concluding this news broadcast, the headlines once again. The President calls for consensus among members of the Parliament to implement the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. The Provincial Council system should be amended while decentralising the power in a proper way. Debate on the second reading of the Appropriation Amendment Bill. It has been stated that malpractices and corruption occur not only in Lanka Transport Board but in all state corporations and statutory board institutions. Sri Lanka's first French fries processing factory to open on Friday. Foreign news, Imran Khan barred from politics for 5 years. And with that we end this news broadcast from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation.